What role do you think record stores like here play in today's music culture?
It's like a meeting place for to spread ideas, spread music, and convene the culture for sure. So, a lot of people super into record culture. You're buying a lot of records, you're playing them at home by yourself a lot of the time. So this is a place where you can connect with other like-minded people that you might not see out there in your everyday life. So it's kind of a sacred place in that respect.
Just a few years ago, vinyl records were seen as a nostalgic throwback.
Is vinyl records are flying off the shelves. Adele's new album isn't even out yet, but pressing plants are hard at work to meet the skyrocketing demand. In fact, vinyl is so popular right now that it's getting hard for sellers to keep up, as you can see here, reported by the New York Times.
My name's Aaron Westenberry. I am not the owner of Vinyl Index. I'm a manager here. Vinyl Index started when the Bow Market opened, which is about close to 7 years ago now. There's like three co-founders, Jeremy Sullivan, Peter Fumara, and George, aka DJ7L from the rap group Czarface, who eventually moved on to start his own record store. But the main owner, Jeremy Sullivan, and I worked together for over a decade in downtown Boston at a store called undergroundhiphop.com that shipped hip-hop vinyl, CDs, clothing, graffiti supplies, and other related items of the culture worldwide and locally in Boston. I also went to Emerson. I graduated in 2005. So at our previous job, we focused on one genre only, hip hop, which was great because we love that genre, but also very limiting. So with this store, it was kind of about going against the grain of that, and sort of having all kinds of different music and a lot more open-ended and more diversity of styles. From the get-go, the intention with this store was to be able to serve drinks inside. It was kind of like one of the inspirations was like the Japanese like sake bars with like records and sake. We couldn't end up getting like the approval for that set up, but eventually we have a partnership with the bar next door where you like order drinks on your phone. So we have like a pseudo bar in the store, which enables us to have late night hours. So we're open later than most of the record stores in Boston. 3 nights a week, we're here till 11 p.m., which enables us to do like DJing in the store and cool events like that. Some of my favorite stuff in my own collection, I go broke buying all these Grateful Dead box sets. Before I got into the Grateful Dead's music on vinyl, I always liked them as a band, but didn't collect them that much. But kind of at the beginning of the pandemic, I did start buying these 5 LP box sets where it's 2 entire sets. It's an entire night of a concert. So it's 5 records in there. So these type of things, I never really appreciated that until somewhat recently myself, and then went crazy buying a lot of these. So when I play them at home, I'll only play from front to back all 3 hours of the concert on vinyl. So it's kind of a way of like time traveling and kind of getting you out of the current day to day and taking you someplace musically that you couldn't really go to in other ways. So yeah. This one came out recently on Record Store Day, but it's a 1976 Grateful Dead set. It's a great set. It sounds excellent on vinyl. Beautiful artwork that I put up on the wall and look at while I listen to it. So that's one of my newest favorite releases. We have a 2 turntable setup here in the store, though. For home listening, you just really need a 1 turntable setup, unless you want to mix and do like a DJ thing. But we DJ here in the store all the time, so we have a mixer where you go back and forth between channels, so you can seamlessly bleed from one record into the other. But in general, if you're, looking to get into records, the main things you need are just a record player, a receiver that will plug into, and then speakers to plug into that receiver. So, those are the three main things you need. You can't start cheaply with like a portable turntable, also a portable record player, but you don't really have to spend all that much money to get a great foundation that will last you for a decade of play, if not longer, or, for around $500, $600 altogether. Last you for, infinite spins in a decade plus period. So definitely worth the investment.
MF2 passed away, right?
Yep.
Yeah, let's come online. Let's see what comes
I think the most meaningful is just kind of when you connect with people that, love things that you think you're the only person in the world that likes that one record, and you kind of feel less alone and more related to the world when you see that, kind of, your weird musical taste, whether it's a guilty pleasure or something obscure or something that, most people hate because it's too different, but then you find somebody else that totally gets it with that record and collects that artist too. And I would say those are in general kind of the best interactions you have, or just when somebody is just as passionate about you as you are about the culture, even if they don't like the same music as you. I have lots of friends that we're not competing for the same records, but we totally get each other just on the bigger picture of collecting, and how important it is to us and essential it is to our daily lives. So I would say, yeah.
Do you think the imperfections of the vinyl are part of its charm?
For better and for worse, like a little bit of crackle and stuff like that gives it like a warm kind of personalized feeling in a way. But if it's too bad, it becomes annoying and makes it inferior. If it's, everybody has the line that they draw with it. Some people just associate listening to records as listening to old music and old beat up copies, so they don't mind the crackle at all. Me, I only listen to music on vinyl, more or less. So I want that experience to sound good whenever possible. So if it's an album I really care about, I won't buy a scratched up copy that might have a lot of crackle to it because I won't enjoy it as much. But if I'm at the thrift store and just trying to take a risk on a random record that costs $2, then I have, I'm way more open to a more messed up record like that. On the other side of things, lots of contemporary pressings might come with a lot of surface noise and static to it, but you're spending a lot of money on a lot of these records. So that's when you get angry about it as well, especially if they're overcharging you in the first place and it's not like a great product. If I really only listen to music that I physically own, I almost feel like I don't have the right to it until I actually have purchased it. It's kind of not a rule I think everybody has to go by, but that's how I live and a lot of people like me live. So, I might listen to something real quickly online to see if I like it and I want to invest in buying it. But, that's the only way I'm going to listen to it. A lot of people like me too. I know there's an infinite amount of awesome music out there. So at least you get limited by only being able to play what you actually have. And, then you also have things to look forward to and things to search out for. But for me, nothing will ever replace that. I don't feel, I'm going to experience it unless I physically own it myself.
Okay. How do you see the future of the vinyl record? In maybe next 5 to 10 years?
It's hard to say. There's been a resurgence, but the vinyl resurgence doesn't, pay people like me better or anything like that. So businesses like ours are always struggling, even though there are more people in the culture. It's not, it doesn't have a clear like trajectory forward, and a lot of people wonder if it's just like a brief upswing and it will die down again eventually. So it's hard to know where it will lead, and with prices going up and all kinds of the tariffs and all that type of stuff, it might affect the whole culture. But yeah, so it's hard to say, but there are more people getting back into it than there had been in the past 4 years, so that is a positive thing about it for sure.